Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Dumebi Lea up on your screen again. Okay, that's actually not me in this video. I did makeup on my gorgeous model Cynthia. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I transformed Cynthia from a baby girl to a Barbie girl. Keep watching, guys. Hey, see my model. Do it again. Woo! Oh yeah, give them again. Shaku shaku. Oh, so fabulous. Hey guys, so I'm going to be showing you guys in this video, like, there are no steps skipped. I'm going to show you guys how I do makeup on my clients, because I think it's about time you guys have a feel of me doing makeup on someone else that isn't me. So first of all, you wipe the face to make sure there's no residue or dust or dirt or whatever. Then I'm filling in her brows using the Ovada Beauty brow pencil. It's called Barbecue, and this is the shade light brown. So it's a retractable pencil, no need to sharpen, which just makes life easier. So I just use that to fill in her brows, and I use the Blood Cosmetics brow set to brush her brows and make sure that like all her hairs are set in place. And if you guys see that I made her brows a bit lighter than it usually is, that's the look that I'm going for. I want her brows to look a little bit lighter. So I used my LA Girl Pro conceal to clean up the brows, the bottom part. Then for the top part, I used the Talk foundation in the shade 160, which is her shade of foundation. So now to prime her eyes, I also use the LA Girl Pro to prime her eyes, and then make sure there are no harsh lines. So I blended the primer, the concealer that I used to prime my eyes, I just blended it by tapping with my eyeshadow brush. Then now for my eyeshadow base, I'm using a lipstick for this, and this particular one lipstick I'm using is from Beyond Beauty. This is their lipstick in the shade Red 06. So I just tapped that in. At this point, you want to clean off any excess lipstick that like fell out. Like there are some of it that fell on her face, some of the lipstick touched her face, so you have to clean it, because this is a matte lipstick, so that because once it dries it gets harder to clean. So I cleaned it. Then the next thing that I'm doing is going into my Morphe eyeshadow palette. This is the 35B eyeshadow from Morphe, and I'm using that to take an orange shade and just blend the crease area, which is like the edge of where the lipstick stopped. Make sure you use a matte lipstick for this purpose, because any lipstick that is not matte is just not going to work well. And when you're using the lipstick, try to put your eyeshadow on the lipstick base before it completely dries. If not, blending is going to be difficult. So I'm using a pink shade to further blend the edges, because I'm doing like a pink smoky. So I'm using that with my blending brush and just going back and forth with wind wiper motions. Then I'm going into my powder palette. This one is from Zikel, and I'm taking a shade of powder that is like 2 shades lighter than my model, and I'm using that to highlight her brow bone. This kind of like makes everything blend seamlessly, so that the color just transition easily, like from the pink up into her brow area. So you just use that. I use that now to blend. And then for my liner, I'm using another lipstick. Like, you guys, I'm using lipstick on the eyes today. This is a nice concept. Like, a lot of people were asking me how I achieved this look. This is the trick. I use the lipstick from Image Cosmetics. This is their lip gloss, and I didn't get the shade name, so I just use that as a liner. Then now I'm applying my lashes, and I'm using one of the lashes from my Missmetics 16-in-1 lash collection. I have grown to really love these lashes. So now the lashes are on, so I'm just going to be spraying her face using a setting spray. Sometimes I like to do this just to make sure that the face is properly hydrated. And now to moisturize the face, I'm using my Fasali Rose Gold Elixir and just massaging it right into her skin. You can also use this opportunity to give your client a little face massage. So now I'm just trying out the foundation to be sure that I pick the right shade. You guys, if you look at her face, you see that her face is a bit more reddish compared to her neck. So I'm matching her foundation to her neck, not her face. That is one thing I do when I'm doing makeup on my clients, because most people, the shade of their face is always different from their neck, so always match it to the neck so that at the end of the day when you apply the makeup, everything blends. So to prime her face, I used my Pond's oil control cream, and I'm using her foundation. That is the Talk London foundation, the shade 160. And guys, I have grown to love this foundation. A little goes a long way. It dries down matte, and you know, it looks like skin. Like, look at how well this thing covers her face. So I'm applying that using my buffing brush. You guys know I love my buffing brush and I won't trade it for anything. So I'm doing this in tapping motions. When using your buffing brush, you use tapping motions, and also make sure you apply foundation on the ears, on the jawline, and down into the neck. So now to highlight her face, I'm going into my LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Fawn, and I'm just using that to highlight her face. Sorry, I'm using the Beyond Beauty Pro Conceal, not the LA Girl. This is from Beyond Beauty, guys. You see what I talked about? They actually look alike. So now I'm just blending that also using my buffing brush, just with light tapping motions. And then I'm also doing that on her nose and her forehead. So the next thing that I'm doing is to contour her face, and I'm doing liquid contour using my Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade 360. So I'm just blending that back and forth using my buffing brush too. So I'm just doing that right under her cheekbones, connecting it to the upper part of her ear. If you find it hard knowing where to contour, you can tell the person to suck in their cheek and make a fish face. So you just follow the hollow of the cheek that appears, and then you just contour. So now this is a trick that I like to do whenever I do a winged liner. I always like to take the concealer that I used to highlight under the eyes to just, with a straight brush, to just, you know, like sharpen the wing liner and make it neater. So now to set my highlight, I don't use setting powder all the time. Sometimes I just use a regular face powder. So I'm taking something that is like 2 shades lighter than her to set the highlighted areas. So I'm just like tapping that on there, especially the under eye area. All the areas highlighted, I'm setting them using the face powder, and as I said earlier, this is from Zikel. So the next thing that I'm doing is going in with a fan brush and contouring her cheekbone area. Your contour doesn't have to be too harsh. It doesn't have to be one defined sharp line. Using a fan brush, it puts the product where I want it, but it removes that harshness of a sharp line, because that way it doesn't look natural. Then to contour the nose, I'm going in with that same powder that I used for contour, also from the Zikel palette, and using an eyeshadow blending brush to just lightly contour her nose and link it up to the area under her brows. So now for lipstick, I'm using my lip balm to prep the lip. If you could actually do this step as the first thing you do before you even start anything, just in case the person has like really dry, patchy lips. You use your lip balm before you start the person's makeup, and then by the time you're ready to do the lips, you just use your wipes to wipe off any melted part of the patchy lips, because the lip balm will make it softer. So for lips, I'm going into my classic 24-hour lipstick, and that is the shade VIP. It's a burgundy shade, so I use that to line her lips. Then for the inner part of her lips, I'm using the Morphe lip stain in the shade Bloodshot. I really love this lip. This shade is like my favorite lately. Then to further brighten the inner part of her lip, I'm doing this just for her lower lip. I took the classic lipstick in Nude Girl, which is a very light shade of pink. So I just placed that in the lower lip, the middle part of the lower lip, and then I cleaned off the edges of her lipstick using her foundation. Then I applied mascara on her face, and now I'm going with powder because I've actually not applied her shade of powder. So I'm using her shade of powder to go over the entire face. That way it actually makes the highlight and contour a little bit more subtle and more natural looking. You also blend this into her ears, blend it into her jaw and her neck. Then for blush, I'm going into my Glitz and Glam Cosmetics highlight and blush palette, and I'm just using that pigmented pink shade, and I'm taking that shade in Trophy Wife. Trophy Wife is one of my favorite highlighters, so I just use that on her cheekbones, and I use that same highlighter to highlight her brows, because if you guys know, I only used a matte powder shade to highlight the brows. So now I was going over it with the highlighter. So I'm highlighting her nose, the bridge of her nose, and then her forehead area and her lip. I used my finger for this because whenever I use a brush, it always messes the lipstick, so I just use the tip of my finger. Then I'm also highlighting her inner tear duct area using that same highlighter that I used. So now I'm going into my Benign Clown White eye primer to line her inner waterline. This opens up the eyes a little bit, a little more. So now I'm going to be applying individual bottom lashes for Cynthia, and she's one of the kind of models that I really like to work with. Like she can keep her eyes open and not blink and tear up. Like, it's always a pleasure working on people that don't, like, their eyes don't irritate easily. So I applied 4 bottom lashes on each eye, and this is the finished look. So I'm going to be styling Cynthia's hair next. So this is the finished look, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I tried to be as detailed as I can to explain everything, no step skip, which is why this video is a bit longer than my usual videos. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see me do makeup on more models, please let me know. Drop me comments. I want to hear what you guys think about the look. If you have any questions or any requests of videos you want to see, let me know, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.